Teenage love. The first and strongest emotions in the lives of children. Remember your school love and how painful it was to part with it. We've all experienced this stage, but what happens at this moment with unbalanced children, with their psyche? Have you ever thought about causing harm to your former significant other? My name is Jeremy. This is the True Crime Chronicles channel, and today I will tell you about the case of Madison Sparrow and the horrifying consequences of her love story. The state of Delaware was shocked by these events. Madison Sparrow headed out to join her friends for ice cream on October 2, 2020, but she didn't make it back home. The girl's mother promptly reported her missing to the police, and it was through the quick actions of the officers that alarming details of the case came to light. Madison Elizabeth Sparrow was born on September 12, 2003, in Norfolk, Virginia, USA. She was the daughter of Heather Sparrow Murphy and Richard Prestige, and she had two sisters, Molly and Wendelin. Although information about her family is limited, it is known that Wendelin was born in 1999 in Durango, Colorado, as a result of Richard's previous relationship. Over time, the family settled in Newark, Newcastle County, Delaware, where the plot of our story unfolds. On October 5, 2010, Madison's younger sister Molly was born, and she became Madison's best friend. Madison had a deep love for children and held the role of the eldest among 8 cousins, all of whom adored her. She never missed an opportunity to play with them and participate in magical performances, making everything fun and engaging. Madison had an infectious laughter, and she exuded a cheerful and lively spirit. However, at times, she could become contemplative and dreamy. According to her father, from a young age, she displayed wisdom, carefully observing and reflecting before reacting. Moreover, Madison was affectionate, and her hugs had the power to lift anyone's mood. Friends and family considered her loyal, always caring for the well-being of those she loved. As a curious girl, Madison enjoyed learning and experimenting. That's why she joined the Girl Scouts, a global youth organization for girls. By the fall of 2012, all existing Girl Scout troops were fully occupied, and her mom became their first troop leader. At the age of 9, Madison joined the Brownies section, designed for girls aged 7 to 10. Over the years, Madison excelled as one of the top cookie sellers, earning several badges for her exemplary performance of duties. Over the course of nearly 10 years in the Girl Scouts organization, Madison formed excellent friendships. Later on, she volunteered to assist in her sister Molly's troop because she had a strong desire to work with other young people and make a positive impact. Madison was a warm-hearted girl, motivated by the oath to serve God and her country, always helping others and adhering to the principles of the Girl Scouts. Like any young girl, Madison loved to have fun, and even in her teenage years, she never ceased to be the queen of pranks. She always planned parties with her friends, ranging from movie nights to full-on makeovers, including manicures and pedicures. Madison could stay up all night, although it's no wonder that the next day she couldn't get up before 2 p.m. Before finishing elementary school, Madison met another heroine of this story, Annika Stalczynski, a girl of the same age born in Newark on July 9, 2003. They quickly became close classmates and prepared for exams together. Information about Annika's life is limited, but it's known that her parents were named Robert Stalczynski and Robin Kearns, and as of 2004, the family lived on Aronimink Drive in Newark. Annika and Madison completed elementary school and moved on to middle school. There, they made new friends, including the third key character in this story, Noah Sharp, also a native of Newark. He was born on August 23, 2001, and details about Noah's background and family situation are limited, except that his mother, Nikki Sharp, had 2 other children, David and Brianna. The trio of friends often went out together for ice cream or took long walks through the extensive green areas surrounding the city. However, when Noah and Madison crossed paths, the attraction was mutual, and within a few months, a teenage romance blossomed between them. In the beginning, they were head over heels in love with each other. However, in early 2020, after a little over a year of being together, Madison decided to break up with Noah without apparent reasons. The two parted ways amicably and agreed to remain friends. But Noah was heartbroken, as he still loved her deeply. During this time, Annika became a trusted person for Noah. They started seeing each other more often and texting almost every day. Although the young man's heart was still broken, after some time, he began dating with girl. Despite his relationship with Annika, Noah, nevertheless, did not lose contact with Madison. He even visited her on her 17th birthday on September 12, 2020, and brought a gift. On that day, the birthday girl's mother, Hezar, noticed that the young man was still upset about the breakup. When Annika learned about this meeting, jealousy consumed her. She couldn't come to terms with the fact that her beloved continued to be friends with his ex-girlfriend. Noah's resentment also turned to anger, and he wanted to hurt Madison for not experiencing the same pain he was. The following week, blinded by hatred and jealousy, Annika and Noah began planning how to end Madison's life. Through text messages, FaceTime, and in person, they exchanged ideas about possible weapons and ways to dispose of the body after the crime was committed. The messages the teens sent to each other to develop their plan were chilling, and indicated that they intended to make the girl suffer. Annika suggested several options, including using a knife to inflict a fatal wound to the heart, but they also discussed the possibility of using a shotgun or a painless bat. According to official documents, they quickly dismissed the idea of using a shotgun because it produced too much noise. Although Noah was not very confident, they settled on the idea of using a blunt object. During these discussions, they also made calculations to determine how many bricks would be needed to prevent Madison's body from floating if they decided to dispose of her in the water. When doubts arose, they mentioned that one option was to bury her, as Noah could dig a hole and knew where to find shovels. In the end, they devised what they believed to be the perfect plan. Madison was as big a fan of ice cream as she was of Halloween. Her cheerful spirit eagerly awaited the arrival of October each year to celebrate her favorite holiday throughout the month. Annika knew Madison's tastes well, and taking advantage of this, on Friday, October 2, 2020, she called her to invite her to have ice cream and spend the day together. Madison immediately agreed. She hadn't talked to her friend for a long time and wanted to buy a gift for Molly, whose birthday was in 3 days. On that day, Madison wore black tights, denim shorts, gray boots, a blue sweatshirt with the inscription New Jersey, and finished the look with white ghost-shaped earrings. She rarely wore jewelry, especially earrings, but with little time left to prepare for Halloween, she decided to buy these ghost earrings. In anticipation of Halloween at 2:44 p.m., she said goodbye to Heather, saying she would see her later, and left. There were no ghosts in this story, but the events that unfolded afterward were much scarier. It was the last time her mother saw her alive. The subsequent hours, days, weeks, and years became a true nightmare for the Sparrow family, her friends, and the residents of Newark. Several hours later, Heather started receiving insulting SMS messages from Madison's number, along with messages about her leaving the country. Heather thought it was a joke and even replied, wishing her luck in her endeavors and joking that she forgot her passport, which was in the safe. However, Heather received no response. Even when she called her daughter's phone, there was no answer. Heather, who was out with Molly, taking her to scout meetings and swimming lessons, was puzzled. The lack of a response started to make her worry. Heather decided to call Annika, knowing that they were supposed to meet later in the day. When Annika answered, she burst into tears and explained that Madison had insulted her, and she had dropped her off near a store. Annika then suggested calling Noah, but he wasn't answering either. Frustrated, Heather asked her to try reaching out to him. The three of them talked, but no information was gained. Disheartened, Heather decided to return home. On the way home, Heather received several messages from her daughter's friends who had also received strange SMS messages and wanted to know what was going on. Upon arriving home and searching for any clues, Heather found nothing that would indicate her daughter had run away. Even the money given to her for her birthday, her clothes, and her credit card were in her room. These messages were very strange and made no sense. Madison had no reason to run away, especially without taking a bag with clothes and money. At approximately 8:30 p.m., when Madison failed to come home, Heather contacted 911 and reported her daughter as missing. Despite ongoing attempts to connect with people, all her endeavors proved fruitless. Upon being informed of the situation, Heather's parents journeyed from another city to assist their daughter. Furthermore, she notified Madison's father, with whom she had separated. Residing in Colorado, he promptly shared information on social media, appealing for assistance in locating his daughter. On the subsequent day, Saturday, October 3, 2020, the 2nd Squadron of the Delaware State Police issued a golden alert for 17-year-old Madison. This type of alert triggers all the essential procedures for searching for a missing person in the state of Delaware. In Delaware, it is activated when a teenager is reported missing. Over the course of 2 days, police search teams, family members, and numerous friends searched the farmlands near the University of Delaware, where Madison was last observed alive. The media also disseminated information about the search, urging people to provide any details. Concurrently, Delaware State Police began questioning Madison's friends, and all the evidence pointed to her ex-boyfriend. According to some information, the girl headed to the wooded area in Newark behind the elementary school, where she was also seen with Noah on the day of her disappearance. Subsequently, detectives detained and interrogated the young man for almost 9 hours from October 4th to 5th, presenting several conflicting scenarios and insisting that he was unaware of what had happened. Finally, the barrier of silence broke, leaving everyone in astonishment and horror. The young man not only confessed to taking her life, but also claimed that Annika was his accomplice. Noah informed the police that Annika hated Madison because she was jealous of her relationship with him. He also shared how deeply he was hurt by his breakup with the girl. According to Noah, Annika drove Madison to the wooded area behind the elementary school. As they walked along the trail, he hid behind the bushes with an aluminum baseball bat in hand. He told the officers how Madison was happy to spend time with her friend and was not prepared for what awaited her. Then, according to him, he suddenly emerged from hiding and struck the girl on the head twice. Noah admitted putting all his strength into the second blow and added that it was at that moment he snapped after several months of uncontrollable anger towards the girl who had broken his heart. Unable to contain himself, he delivered several more blows to her body. Following the assault on Madison, the duo transported her body using Annika's car to a site beneath a bridge near the intersection of I-95 and a Delaware State road, approximately 15 minutes away from the crime scene and in proximity to a warehouse. Upon reaching the location, they attempted to submerge the body in the river. Failing in their endeavor, they opted to conceal it in a shallow grave they hastily dug at the same spot. Armed with details provided by the young man, investigators meticulously searched the designated area. There, they unearthed an aluminum baseball bat, wielded as a weapon, bearing traces of blood. The crime scene yielded clothing worn by Madison when she left home, with some articles displaying evidence of scorching. Subsequently, the suspect guided law enforcement to a wooded expanse near the junction of I-95 and the Delaware State Road, where he and his accomplice had clandestinely interred the body. On Monday, October 5th, 2020, Corporal Heather Piper announced the finding of the body. The impact of this revelation left Madison's family, friends, and the entire community in disbelief. A few days afterward, on Friday, October 9th, hundreds of individuals congregated at the high school football field to honor and remember the victim. The autopsy revealed that Madison's death resulted from blunt force trauma to the head. On the other hand, experts found Noah and Annika's DNA in physical evidence collected both at the crime scene and where the body was discovered. Noah faced charges of first-degree murder, possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a crime, and first-degree conspiracy. He was placed in a correctional facility with bail set at $1 million. On Monday, November 16, 2020, over a month after the tragic event and following the processing of necessary evidence, 17-year-old Annika was also arrested. Her arrest occurred after a grand jury in Newcastle County indicted her on charges of first-degree murder, possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony, and first-degree conspiracy. Meanwhile, the Madison family was in disarray. Heather had repeatedly stated that a rational reason for why her daughter's life was taken would never be found. Her main plea to justice was that the criminals would never again be able to harm others or themselves. Although Noah admitted to detectives that he committed the crime, during the official court indictment, he did not plead guilty. In response to this, speculations arose that his defense might argue that he was mentally unstable. Lawyers often attempt to justify their clients by citing mental instability, and this case was no exception. During one of the preliminary hearings, Noah's attorney, representing his interests, stated that at the time of the murder, Noah was undergoing treatment for possible schizophrenia and was under the care of a psychiatrist. The lawyer also asserted that Noah had been injured in Chester County, Pennsylvania, approximately 3 weeks before the crime. She explained that, as a result of the head injury, her client experienced memory gaps and other issues. However, she did not specify the cause of the head injury or its severity. Nevertheless, in May 2021, Annika pleaded guilty to charges of first-degree murder and first-degree conspiracy. Her lawyers reached a deal with prosecutors, in which she agreed to testify against Noah regarding his intent to end Madison's life. According to court documents, several individuals, including those close to the victim, informed the police about Noah's alleged alter ego, a second personality. However, prosecutors claimed that Noah himself had spread this information. Apparently, this was part of his plan to murder Madison. He preemptively spread rumors, intending to later use this information in court. After 2 long years of awaiting justice, on October 20, 2022, the trial of the accused began in Newcastle County. During the proceedings, approximately 30 witnesses were called, most of whom were summoned by Deputy Attorneys General Matt Frawley and John Downs. The courtroom in Newcastle County displayed hours of video recordings of Noah's interrogations with state police detectives. The audience heard the changing narratives of the young man until he finally confessed. The defense attempted to challenge these pieces of evidence, emphasizing that the police interrogated their client for too long. Attorney Monica Jerome noted that detectives manipulated the interrogation, fed Noah what to say, and exerted pressure on him. However, it was evident to everyone that this was merely a desperate attempt to justify the murderer through any available means. The prosecution also presented text messages exchanged between Noah and Annika to plan the crime. Confronted with this evidence, the defense attempted to persuade the court that someone else controlled the suspect's device and that he was not the one corresponding with the girl. Noah's mother and brother were called to testify sequentially and contradicted each other several times. Nikia stated that her son was not wet when he returned home on the evening of October 2nd, while David claimed that his brother was wet and looked as if he had gotten into some swamp. Nikia reported that shortly after her son's arrival, Annika entered the house and seemed calm. In contrast, David said that the girl came into the house angrily, slamming the door. Prosecutor Matt Frawley asked Nikia if she had discussed the evidence against Noah with him, to which she replied no. However, prosecutors played an audio recording of a phone call between the defendant and his mother a month before the trial, where they discussed the evidence captured by the surveillance camera at the elementary school. In this conversation, Noah informed his mother that his face was not visible in the video where he and Annika were seen near the school an hour before Madison's murder, to which she reacted with relief. However, the video showed an African American of the same height and build as Noah, carrying a baseball bat, walking with a girl into the woods. The defense also questioned the defendant's relatives about the head injury he allegedly suffered on September 13, 2020, and another unconfirmed blow he received after falling from a bike a few hours before the police interrogations on October 4th. Noah's lawyers suggested that these injuries could have caused dissociative amnesia, attempting to justify the statements he made to the police. Confronted with this, the prosecutors raised the question of whether the injury was simply part of the conspiracy to murder Madison, which the defense contested somewhat uncertainly. Annika confirmed all the prosecution's arguments during her 3-hour testimony in court. In her account, she calmly explained how Noah convinced her that Madison was speaking ill of her behind her back. However, friends and relatives of the victim emphasized that Madison never spoke negatively about her friends. After 8 days of court sessions and the presentation of more than 250 pieces of evidence by the prosecutors, the jury took only 3 hours to reach a final verdict. Noah Sharp was found guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder, and was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. When the jury's decision was announced, Noah and his mother showed no emotions. Noah simply turned and smiled at his mother. The Madison family cried in relief before leaving the courtroom. Heather, Madison's mother, uttered a phrase her daughter had used before: "Choose light, not darkness. Love conquers all." She also expressed gratitude, saying, "We want to thank our friends and family. This has been a 2-year process, and we couldn't have done this without their love and constant support. We also want to thank the community, and especially Newark Charter School, and its administration and families, along with the community that has supported the Love Wins 5K the last 2 years, and that supports the Madison Sparrow Memorial Scholarship to aid future educators. Regarding Annika, when the guilty verdict for Noah was announced, prosecutors stated that according to Delaware state law, she was recommended a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 30 years, as she was a minor at the time of the crime. That's the sad story. This was Jeremy. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you found the story interesting. Give us your opinion in the comments. See you in the next video.